So we had Q&A, we had Q&A part 2, and now we have Q&A part 3, the threequel. Y'all ask questions, I'm here to answer. This is a great way to get my followers involved and, just share some thoughts on some things. So let's get started with Q&A. So first question that one of my Instagram followers asked is, what are films you think everyone should see at least once? I think there's a lot of good answers. I'm just going to say like the essential Pixar movies are, I think, movies that everyone should watch. So Toy Story, Finding Nemo, WALL-E, Incredibles. I think those are some that everyone should watch. They have very simple ways of delivering such deep messages: friendship, family, parenthood, etc. So this question asks, if you could choose one movie that was a required watch in schools, what should it be? This one's tough. I don't know if I can answer that or give just one. Maybe Apocalypse Now. Cinematography in that movie is amazing. If you want to think about a movie that really blends genres well, for example, comedy, horror, and satire, Get Out. That's a really good one. If you've seen the video, there's like Jordan Peele infiltrating a UCLA class where they were teaching about Get Out. That's a funny one. Or honestly, maybe even Parasite. The way they kind of blend genres and tones in that movie, I think would be an excellent watch for film students. And by the way, just won Best Picture. This person asks, what's your favorite below-the-line Oscar category? So what he means is, what's your favorite category that's not one of the big ones? So picture, director, acting, writing. I'd have to say visual effects. That's one of the ones that to me is the most fun to follow. But I think best director is overall my favorite Oscar category. Next question, what are your top 5 favorite TV shows? Ooh, I haven't really talked about TV on this page yet. I've seen a couple of really good sitcoms in the past that I liked. So How I Met Your Mother, Parks and Rec, New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is still ongoing. In the past, some of my favorite shows have been Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch, Daredevil, Marvel Netflix. I'm currently obsessed with Westworld. I started it during quarantine, and it's crazy good. This person asks, John Williams or Hans Zimmer? They're both incredible film composers. If you don't know, John Williams did both these films right here, and Hans Zimmer has done stuff like Interstellar, The Dark Knight, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lion King. I got to see Hans Zimmer live with my dad a couple years ago, and I've bragged about it ever since. That was an incredible experience. I might just say Hans Zimmer for that reason alone. Do you think we'll be back in theaters anytime soon? I'd like to think so. I think we'll be back in time for Tenet, which is July 17th. I think they'll still have some social distancing regulations, like people will have to be spread apart, but I think enough theaters will be open in time for Tenet and Mulan in mid-July, and then Wonder Woman a couple weeks after that. This is the last question. This person asks, opinion on films now being released on digital. Do you think it'll be a new trend? New trend? I don't think this is a new trend that will continue past the virus. I think once theaters reopen, things will start going back to normal. If you don't know, there's like a feud between Universal and some of the theater chains because they decided to ditch the theatrical release at all for Trolls World Tour. They were like, whoa, y'all betrayed us, now we can't profit off this movie. And so there's some stuff going on there, and I think studios don't want to start beef with the theaters. And I do think the cinematic experience is profitable and meaningful enough for people to go back. And I think Tenet and Wonder Woman and eventually Black Widow, those are stuff that people will definitely want to go watch. And I think even with something like Wonder Woman, I think it would honestly be a worse movie if it didn't come out in theaters, because it's a movie about togetherness, and I think that's so beautifully reflected in the cinema experience, right? And so I think that'll be the only way to really experience it. Or the reason I love Fast and Furious movies, for example, isn't because of Vin Diesel going,
I don't have friends, I got family.
It's because I get to sit there and watch big stuff happen with other people and laugh with them and have a fun 2 hours with them. So I do think the cinematic experience does make a difference, and hopefully, most likely, I think movies will start to go straight back to theaters unless it's like Netflix originals, like the next Spike Lee movie, which was already scheduled to just go to Netflix. Thank you guys so much for submitting questions. There were some questions that I didn't get to. That's either because of time or because I felt like I'd answered them in a previous video. But thank you for everyone who submitted and everyone who watched. I had so much fun recording this and answering your questions. There were some really interesting ones here. Till then, have a great time, watching movies and TV at home.